ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। मन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथो मद्गुरो श्री जगद्गुरु मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Revered Babaji Sadananda Das Ji Maharaj, respected chairperson of the session, respected Professor Das, just to listen to him, and respected scholars, devotees, guests and friends. It's a great occasion to remember the golden lines of Thakur Sri Paramahamsa, because we are in the Kali era and we are declining fast as a humanity. Human values are in a precarious condition. Every one of us knows through news every day or meeting people in the street or in the village, anywhere and everywhere, that our values are nowhere. Values that our forefathers cherished, our seers and sages and great persons, they visualized, they are nowhere. So these human values are the cardinal point in the literature of Paramahamsa Abhirama Deva. Just now Professor Das, who has been a devotee of Thakurji from his very childhood, through many beautiful quotes of Thakurji, he spoke to us his mind, his direct experience, and I was thrilled to know that he had that kind of anga sanga of Thakurji, because to be touched by such a great person, a great sage and seer, Ishvara Koti Purusa, Satpurusa, Mahapurusa, it's a rare virtue. Such a person also I came across in Pudina, Narasinghapur, one of the villages, and that old man came to me and just spoke to me just like feeling that I am a child. And such nice things about Thakurji he told to me one fine evening when we visited that ashram, when we had one small occasion of Thakur's Jayanti in our one Arakshita Dasa Matha in our village. After that, to see off one Swamiji, I went to Pudina, Narasinghpur, and that man, a grihi, a householder, he told me of his experiences with Thakurji. So, these rare occasions and these rare golden words from the mouth and from the writings of such great Mahapurushas, they lead us, they lead mankind. So, today in this national seminar this year, we have this topic of our focus, human values in the works of Sri Abhirama Paramahamsa Deva. So these human values, human and values, two words, and this human, perhaps in our own literature, we have got the best definition of what humanity could be, what a man could be. If we look back upon the Vedas, one etymologist, Yaska, tells us the etymology of the word Manusya, Manasa Sipyati Karmani. One with proper thoughtfulness, he leads himself to different kinds of work, different kinds of action. So with thoughtfulness, there lies the base for values. Values, when we come to such words in another language, then we try to find parallels in our own system, in our own literature. Then suddenly we come across a word like mulya, mulya, bodha and all that. So, but these parallels do not properly lead us as in a different foreign land culture. So, the word value comes from the Latin word valere, means be strong or be worth. The old French word is valoir, be worth, the same meaning, and Middle English it's value, as we know. So this value, what actually our values are, the objectives of our life, our human life, because life is of various kinds. Because when Thakurji speaks of human life, he doesn't forget other lives as well. Because he is an Advaitin. He is also a Dvaitin. He is also a Visishtadvaitin. And all the systems he is looking through, he is passing through, and finally he comes to his own Samanvaya, his own Samarpana Sutra, and there everything is reconciled. And that reconciliation is his gift to humanity. That how to reconcile everything. Not that he is speaking against the Vedas. For the Vedas, he is bringing to them to a new light, a new focus. Because humanity is changing. And the Vedas have a new meaning with the changing face of humanity. And that Thakurji is doing. I was thinking this morning, if Thakur's writings could have a Vedic annotation, Vedic footnotes, then perhaps everything that he speaks about comes from the Vedas. As the Vedas analyzed, he has re-seen the Vedas in a new light for the new humanity of his times. Only the last century. He was born in the first part of 20th century, and not very many years. As Sri Aurobindo was quoted by Professor Das, so he is a contemporary of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo lived up to 1950, when he completed his Savitri, the great epic poem in English language. So there are many things, you can get many parallels, because all the great people, when they speak to the masses, when they preach their own religion, then they have many parallels. But distinction are to be found out also, because he spoke of, Professor Das spoke of equality. This equality, the vision of equality, the vision of universal fraternity, all these things we come across in his literature. His magnum opus, Kali Bhagavata. Kali Bhagavata. Because that's the Dwapara Bhagavata of Vyasadeva. Dwapara Bhagavata and Kali Bhagavata, there is a distinction. Last time, on such an occasion here, I was speaking about the Kali Bhagavata of Madhusudan Das, who was born not very far from my village. Madhusudan Das or Madhu Das, Mahapurush Madhusudan Das, he has also one Kali Bhagavata. And much after him, Thakur Abhirama Paramahamsa Deva has this Kali Bhagavata, on which Professor Pradhananda Rai, I had not the good opportunity to learn at his feet, but I had opportunity to listen to him. He was in Revancha College. I was a student in Revancha College. When I entered the philosophy department, which was a past subject of mine, then he had just retired. So we saw him, we listened to him, but had never the opportunity to study at his feet. So Professor Pradhananda Rai, when he makes a beautiful critique of Kali Bhagavata, so he brings the whole gamut of his philosophical knowledge to delve deep into the lines of Kali Bhagavata. So this Kali Bhagavata must be read by everyone, every Indian, every Odia, of course, because it's in Odia language. So this is a great contribution of Odia language to the world literature, to the world of philosophy, to the world of spirituality, because in Abhirama Paramahamsa Deva, He was not learned as many people of us are in the colleges and universities, but that education doesn't support us. That may support us with a beautiful life, beautiful living, but that can't put their vision. That vision comes from brahmacharyena tapasa deva mrityumupagnata. Now he was telling about mrityu. Because mrityu in Kathopanishad, mrityu is the guru and Nachiketa is the Shishya. And Nachiketa is such a Shishya, perhaps Abhirama Paramhamsa Deva in his childhood could be equal to Nachiketa. See, Nachiketa, the word Nachiketa means one who doesn't know. But one doesn't know, he doesn't know the pleasure principle, the pleasure to be found here in this worldly life. He doesn't know or believe in the Swarga Sukha, the heavenly bliss, but he is certainly inquiring about what after that, what after that. The beyond, that's the spirituality. Because Indian spirituality goes far beyond. Swami Vivekananda even speaks of this in the second volume of his Life and Works. He speaks of a story that Socrates is looking for something, bending down. Then somebody from a little distance, he comes and tells him, asks him, what sir you are looking for? He says, I am looking for the real man. Then he says, oh, are you a saint from India? Because only a person from India could say like this. And that man says, unless you have found God, you cannot find man. You have to see God. In Vivekananda's words also, you have to be God. See God and be God. The Bhakta also is Bhagavan. So the Bhakta has to become Bhagavan to know what real Bhakti is. That Prema Bhakti, what Thakur speaks about, Jnana, Karma and Bhakti, they are merged together. And that Prema Bhakti is Jnana Mishra Bhakti as per the Odisha Vaishnavic tradition. It's not Raganuga or Mudha Bhakti. But Raganuga Bhakti also is necessary. Thakur Paramahamsa Deva, Raga is essential. So he speaks of Madhurya. He is writing not a writing on poetics, but certainly you can find the germs of poetics in his writings. So, if we look into the great literature of 50, about more than 50 maybe, 50 works of Thakur Paramahamsa Deva, the greatest work could be called Bhagavatam. But the bhajans, they have such a great philosophy, great spirituality, great devotion, which transcends everything in the past. Narada in his Bhakti Sutras, one thing he says, Sahi Parama Prema Rupa. Narada and Bhakt Sandilya, two great writers of Bhakti Sutras in our tradition. Post Bhagavata times, Narada and Sandilya. Sandilya is Bhakti Vidya, Narada also is Bhakti Vidya. And about Narada in some of the anecdotes, some of the narratives in his writings, Thakur speaks of Narada. How Narada has a dialogue with someone and many spiritual facts come into the forefront. So this Narada means Jnana or Karma. One who gives, a giver of Jnana and Karma is Narada. And in the first book of the Bhagavatam, the story of Narada comes that in one life, through Seva Bhakti, or through Prema Bhakti, to Sanat Kumara, etc., how Narada becomes Narada. So that kind of Utkata Punya, and such kind of Utkata Punya also was there with Thakur Abhirama Paramahamsa Deva in his very childhood. He was Nachiketas. He refused to believe in the worldly pleasures. He refused to go for marriage. He said, why not in my ashram every day this thing happens? Nitya Rasa Leela, Nitya Rasa Utsava. So, we have to look upon the literature in such a manner how these human values, because sir already spoke about equality, कई साना नहीं कई बड़ा नहीं. This thing, the world is still to realize. The nations, the countries are still to realize. The established religions are still to realize. The United Nations organization is still to realize. The last hymn of the Rig Veda, which is called Sangyana Sukta. Of course, there is no name like that, but people ascribe such a name to it. We are far from realizing it in our lives. Because Sangachadham, Sambadatham, Sango Manamsi Janadam, Deva Bhagam Yatha Purbe, Sanjanana Upasate. Why a human being in that human frame, in that frail human frame, why he is Thakur? The word Thakura, Thakura in Sanskrit language means a god, a deity, or the supreme god even. So how a man rises from that basic nature of humanity to Godhead, to Godhood. So how he becomes God. So, Manur Janaya Daivyam Janam. How to become a Manu, a real thinking human being, even one who has transcended thinking, one who has gone beyond mind, Yo Buddhe Paratastu Saha in the Bhagavad Gita. Evam Buddhe Parang Buddhva Samstabhyat Manavatmana Jahi Satrung Mahavaho Kamarupam Durasada. This envy and malice, how can really one get away from? It's difficult. Without having that God touch, again that's Sri Aurobindo's parlance, without that God touch, nobody can do this. So we must go for God. Being human beings, our model is God. In the philosophical aphorisms of Patanjali, Ishvara is positioned in that manner as a model. Because Klesha Karma Vipaka Sayahi Aparamrishta Purusa Visesa Ishvaraha. This is the sutra aphorism of Patanjali. Ishvara is such. And that Ishvara, of course, a dualistic system. But dualism has a great role to play in Advaita realization. One of our teacher, Professor Pradyota Mukhopadhyay, was telling in one of his lectures in my university in Kurukshetra that there must be a tinge of dual experience before finally having that non-dual experience. And after that non-dual experience, you must have to come back to the same dual stage. Vyavahara and Paramartha, they go hand in hand. So this Vyavahara and Paramartha, how Thakur Abhirama Paramahamsa dealt with in our division of castes, the four varnas, the four ashramas, and the four purusarthas. Normally, our axiology is to treat the four purusarthas as values, mulyas. The four purusarthas, the first one is the base, dharma. Dharmo hi tesam adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pasubhi samanaha. So that dharma actually leads to artha, kama and moksha. Dharma viruddha kamosmi, the Bhagavad Gita says. What kind of kama I am? We need kama, proliferation. We need santati. Prajatantunga vivatsatsihi in the Upanishads. But what kind of kama? Dharma, sammata, kama. That's guided by dharma. And artha, what kind of artha? Not as the superpowers are doing, not as the businessmen are doing. Something came in the news yesterday or today, or someone spoke. Some 13 business houses around the world. Is there artha, dharma, prerita, artha? So we have to look upon these things. Thakur's words, how they can influence IMF, UNO, the superpowers, India. So all these things are highly necessary to actually to see that Thakur's message is a leading light in our own times. And and he goes into the depth of philosophy, his spiritual realization, because after having that kind of spiritual realization, after reaching the climax, one has to come down. The great Buddha, the light of Asia, at an early age, he had realized the final realization, Nirvana. After Nirvana, up to Mahaparinirvana, casting off his physical coil, how many years in between? What he did? He was in Vyavahar, he was teaching. He was guiding his disciples. So, Thakur Abhiram Paramahamsa Deva did that. He raised sannyasis who could be beacon lights to the whole of humanity. So his teachings, not only in Odisha and Greater Odisha, but beyond Odisha and now beyond India, they are traveling. And he speaks of this Dvaita and Advaita, all the Dvandvas and the opposites are reconciled. Laya and Leela, Gopika Leela and Avadhuta Laya. So this Laya and Leela, how they play together. Both are necessary. So the Gopikas in Rasa Leela, because in the 10th book of the Bhagavatam, we have to reread the Rasa Leela Prasanga. Rasa Leela in his own times, Karapatri Swamiji, he analyzed. And Abhiram Paramahamsa Deva, he speaks of Rasa Leela in a similar but different tone, because for his own times, for the 20th century, that kind of explanation was necessary. So these God-sent devotees, saints and sages, they have their own voice, and this Avadhuta Tattva and this Laya Tattva and this Gopika Leela Tattva, because Krishna, Hari, he played both the things. He was here and there. So sometimes the Gopikas did not find him. Sometimes they are with him. So the Gopikas were the students, and he was the Hari, was the great teacher. So also Thakur Abhirama Paramahamsa Deva. So these things one must bear in mind, that how to find out that peace and bliss, Ananda and Sukha, so Santi and Ananda. So the Ananda is much above our pleasure principle. Pain and pleasure, Jayasva, Mriyasva. This is for the common man. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha. This is for the commoner. But to rise beyond the common humanity, one has to be God intoxicated. And that God intoxication brings to us that possibility of real bliss, which is within the Mimamsa philosophy. It speaks of three kinds of happiness. One that we get in this worldly life, the other that we get in the so-called heaven, the third, and these two are born of our karma. The third is moksha, that's bliss. The third happens when actually one's sense organs are withdrawn from the mind. Then that mind becomes instrumental to receive that kind of bliss which is the highest. That is beautifully described in the lines of the Bhagavad Gita. Sukham atyantikam yattad buddhi grahya matindriyam vitti yatra nachayivayam sitas chalati tattvata yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tata yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate tam vidyati buddhi sangyoga viyogam yoga sanjitam सनिश्चयेन तद विद्या दुख संयोग वियोगम योग संजितम सनिश्चयेन युक्तव्यो योगो अनिर्विण्ण चेतसा. So the Yoganti tradition, when they speak of yoga in the Gorakhnath tradition, Thakur Abhiram Paramahamsa Deva is a little ahead of that. When the Vedantins speak of moksha, who is the mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram, she tells that was as if entering into a blank. This is her recorded speech. As if it was entering into a blank. The Vedantic or the Buddhist kind of liberation she speaks about. So certainly it's beyond that. Because sometimes even Chaturbhuja, the commentator of the entire Mahabharata, who has also commented upon the Bhagavad Gita, he says the Gita is beyond the realization of the Vedas. It's beyond the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita. So this kind of bliss, because that Naganti, the Sunyavadins, Nagarjuna, etc., Vedantin, Gaudavada Shankara, etc., then the Siddhantins, the Vajrayana, etc., and the Tantra tradition, and the Yogantins. So he reconciles the cardinal points of all these systems and still walks one foot ahead of that. So that philosophically we have to understand. Because if we are not spiritually realized, one has to do philosophy. When one is spiritually realized, the masters, they also do philosophy. Because philosophy is a kind of ladder. Because without that ladder, you cannot come down and you cannot also go up. So all philosophy one has to live. Even the Nirlamba Upanishad says, Veda Aveda, Sastrani Asastra. So the Vedas you have to leave aside. The Shastras you have to leave aside. So what you have to do surrender. Patram puspam phalam toyam jo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti bahudam asnami prayatatmana. How simple are the words of Thakur Paramahamsa Deva. Because he knows he is speaking to the layman, the illiterate people, the women, the children, everyone. One of our brothers in the Mahantipada near our village, he had a vision to go to Karamala, and he was paging through one book and he found 100 rupees note. He went with his father, said that, see, I have found 100 rupees note. Now will you send me to Karamala? So his father was one Ashrita of Thakurji. So he said, okay, certainly I shall send you. So he went, Purnachandra Mohanty, one Budu Bhai of ours. So he went. Thakurji knew that a boy is coming. He should not have any trouble on the way, and he received him. He kept him over there. But after one day, he promptly sent him back with another person that go leave him at his bus stand. See that he reaches home well. So an all-knowing person, all-caring person, a person who treats everyone as their mother, such only can be God. So we have not seen God, but if you find such a person, he is certainly God. Because one personal mother is mother to a few children or one child. But a guru is mother. So the Guru Gita says, Gurur Madhye Sthita Mata. The Guru is a mother. Matru Madhye Sthito Guru. In the mother also there is a God. Guru Matar Namastestu. Oh, Guru in the form of mother, I bow down to you. Matru Guru Namamya. So Guru and Mata, just like I said in the Dakshinamurti Upanishad, Ishvara, Guru and Atma, they are one. So in Advaita Bodha, we are individual souls, but we have the possibility of visualizing ourselves as the universal soul. That is in Yoga Vasishtha Ramayana. That is how one finds in moksha, in realization. So that's also a step ahead of Vedantic moksha in the Yoga Vasishtha, in the words of Vasishtha Rishi in the royal palace of Dasaratha to Rama and others. And Rama at the age of 16 became a Jivan Mukta. And a Jivan Mukta rules over India. That's Ramarajya. That's Janaka Rajya Janaka, the only one individual personal name taken up in the Bhagavad Gita in the 3rd chapter, in Karma Yoga. So what kind of karma is that? It's not the kind of karma we are going about. But that karma, Jnana Agni Dagdha Karmanam Tamaho Panditam Buddha in the 4th canto of the Bhagavad Gita. So all these things and this karma and jnana and bhakti, because I say that human values, when we say Manu Sanghita, our revered Professor Swami is not here, he is a great Dharma Shastrin, and I'm happy I came to actually to meet him, to bow down to him, because he has received the Mahamupadhyaya P.V. Kane Award from ACT Society, Mumbai, very recently, but he is in Kolkata today. So in the Manu Sanghita, he is a master of that. It says, Dhruti, Kshama, Damu, Steyam, Asteyam, Saucham, Indriya Nigraha, Dhihi, Vidya, Satyam, Akrodho, Dasakam, Dharma Lakshana. Are these not human values? In such great tales like this, such thousands of slokas, verses, not only in Sanskrit, but in Pali, Prakrit, and in our own languages, they are found in the literature of Paramahamsa Deva. So our concept of values goes much beyond that of the Western literature. So these things we must tell ourselves and prove through our study and research that actually our concept of values, they are much above all those things. So this Vachi Lila Na Vachi Laya, when you negate and you affirm, then when you affirm, then it's Leela. You become a Gopika. All jivas are Gopikas. But fortunate are those jivas who had great tapas in the past, they became the Gopikas. In the Krishna Pranami Sampradaya, I was in Gujarat last time. So how they think of the Gopikas and how they play a key role in the creation and dissolution of the universe. So, and how to reconcile, Thakurji has reconciled both the sides. You need not be an avadhuta in that way, you need not be a raganuga, a sansari in that way, but how to be in the samsara, Padma Patra Vibham Bhasa. He says Navanita and water, the beautiful simile he gives. Just like Navanita means butter, butter in water. So butter doesn't get dissolved in water. So also your life should be in such a way that you don't get dissolved in the waters of the worldly life. So that is how it is. So all these things actually, how this Bhakti Yoga, Gopika Sutra, all these things, Sadhana Sutra. So how this Samarpana Sutra finally comes to Samarpana Sutra. So perhaps that Purnamasi, that great deity, blessed Thakurji in that jungle, and he became what we are destined to become, because he is an Aisha Purusha, he is a God sent from above, because he has to do much good to humanity. So this Vaita, Pinda, Brahmanda, all these things have to come together, and this Nirmala Prema, the Jnana, the knowledge of Advaita and the karma of Advaita, both the things must be reconciled. How the string is, or the medium is, Nirmala Prema, pure love. That pure love is highly essential in human life. The highest value, Nirmala Prema, pure love. And all these things, as Professor Das also pointed out, comes from the real experience of Thakurji. Thakurji was not writing some literature because he wanted to be a writer. No. He is writing from his own Anubhava. Anubhava. Sambhideva hi Bhagavati tattopagame saranam. Many places is quoted in Nyaya Sastra, etc. So Sambhideva hi Bhagavati, our own experience, that tells to us what the things are like. So he says, Pachaile tako nakahai kichi antare kevalo anubhuti achi. So that anubhuti, that experience in the heart, that speaks to us. So things in the transcendental realization, they take the form of words, and those words are his writings, his speakings, his bhajans, and so on. So these human values, not to speak of humanitarian values, but humanistic values in the West, not the materialist value system, but the human values in the strict Indian way, in our own spiritualistic way, that divine materialism, again one Sri Aurobindian parlance I am taking, the divine materialism, and how divinity must be made to survey matter, to bring matter to us. So that kind of divine life is speaking about as the highest human value. So let us pray to Thakurji to come into our lives, to come into the lives of our people all over the world, and make this world a place worth living, a place of peace and bliss. Om Sri Satyanarayana Swami Karajai.